and welcome to Ladies of Another View on Back. It's just Jan and me today. We've done this before.
We have, and it's always fun.
It is, and we've got a fantastic guest on today. Leslie Blackwell Davis, who I've known for a number of years, and she used to do a talk show herself. So let's welcome to the show, Leslie.
Nice to see you all. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, thanks for coming on, and I'm going to tell our guests who you are. You are a post-abortive lady who used to have your own talk show. You've been involved in politics, and you speak out now with Silent No More, very pro-life. And I don't remember how I found you, Leslie, but I was looking to do a story to talk to post-abortive women on making that step from going from pro-abortion to pro-life and how life-changing that is, right? I mean, it's a whole different world.
It was profound.
Let's start by tell us how it all started. You were in college in communications, right?
Correct. Actually, I think it started when I was growing up. You know, I look back and I was raised Catholic. Grew up in a real, as I call it, the Catholic mafia of the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Everybody knew each other by their parishes. And, I loved the nuns. I loved everything. It was just, loved my school, St. Elizabeth's. I had lots of friends, lots of sisters. And, so I was raised in that wonderful environment. But what was happening, Patty, I think, and Jan, is the culture was just pushing on us. This is the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. And so there I am at that pre-adolescent stage, and I'm hearing, hey, it's all about you now, sex and drugs and rock and roll and all these. And boy, they were a little bit more enticing than, the obedient little girl I was. And really, so that's what I was kind of grappling with as I headed off to college at 17 years old. And when I got down to this little school in North Carolina, all by myself, nobody watching me, oh boy, the freedom, I think was a little too much. I sure had fun, or what I thought I was having fun. Learned about marijuana, was drinking heavily. Everybody was partying, that kind of thing. And unfortunately, with that type of behavior, there's going to be some consequences. And that's what happened. It was my senior year of college, and I had been an intern at the local ABC affiliate in High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I was so excited. I had been a news reporter for an apprentice news reporter. And I wanted so bad to get a job there. And sure enough, I find out that they hired me my senior year of college. I think I got the call after the beginning of the year, and that, but at about the same time, I found out I was pregnant.
And Leslie, you now, was your major communications, journalism?
Yes. So I had been an intern at the TV station. I was an apprentice news reporter. The minute I walked into that newsroom, I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. It was everything I loved the fast pace. And so that was what I was going to do. So here I get that dream job and find out that I'm pregnant. It's like, I wince to think of how I reacted, but, sure, fear, scared. But all I can remember is I got to get rid of this.
You did not hesitate. That was like, that you thought that was your
sure. I think all women, you play around with, what if, what if I really could be a mom? You think, how could I do it? I think you go through every scenario. What if I go home? What would my parents say? That was, and at that time, I've even talked with my mom about that, because she said, why didn't you tell me? And at that point, I had an older sister who had recently come home from a broken marriage and had little babies. And all I could think of is, that's the last thing my family needs, is for me to, hey, here's another one. So I just, and I've also thought about the influence. You know what? This was 1980. Roe versus Wade was what, 73? So you're looking at 7 years, right? Once abortion was
Right,
legalized.
yes.
And I've talked with a lot of my buddies with Silent No More. We all get together a lot and chat, and I think knowing that Planned Parenthood was there was kind of like a safety net. Just knowing,
Okay.
gosh, if I did get in trouble, at least I know I can get out of it.
And you obviously felt like here's your dream job possibility, like your world is opening up to you, and you would have to give that up if you continued the pregnancy. We don't know if that's true, but it might have
You
been.
know what, though? Back then in 1980, you didn't see many unmarried pregnant women. I think Murphy Brown, I don't even know if she was on TV yet, but
Yeah.
it would have been scandalous. And, I would have had to leave. So I made the decision, and it was awful.
Did you feel bad afterwards? Did you feel bad afterwards because you were going to go on to have another abortion and you became
Well,
very pro-abortion? So I'm wondering if you felt bad.
and that kind of happened after the abortions because you need to validate your choice.
Ah.
You've got to become that angry. I look at that nasty woman out there. Well, I get it because I was that woman.
Well, let's look at a few photos I have when you were young and you were in the news business. There
Oh
you are on your talk
gosh,
show.
that's my old TV set. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good Morning Virginia. That was Good Morning Virginia. How about that?
Yeah. So
Yeah, and I probably had been out late that night before, burning the candle. I was trying to I think down deep, I was still sabotaging myself, and that's something that we can talk about. I couldn't get my arms around. Here I am, this little perky blonde, and I've got this talk show. I'm interviewing all the little stars and celebrities, but yet down in my heart, I felt awful. I felt bogus, like a counterfeit, and I felt that way for so many years. And it really wasn't until I went and got healing for my abortions that I understood that that was somewhat typical.
let's
Typical
look at
side effect.
a couple more pictures just so we can get another. I mean,
Okay.
where were you here? We got just one more minute here, but where were
Look
you?
at that. Yeah, I used to MC all sorts of events. I think that was at some concerts. I'd draw the winning tickets here and there, and oh yeah, it was fun. What a great career for a young woman.
And there you
Oh,
are.
how about that? Is
Look how
that
cute
hilarious?
you
I was the
were.
Bat
Yeah.
Girl. I had been invited.
Batgirl.
That was, believe it or not, Philip Morris
Oh, wow.
um, representatives, and I was the Bat Girl for the evening from the TV station TV8. That was down in North Carolina. And you know what? That's post-abortive right there. I'm within a couple months, within a year of, yeah, if I was in television then.
And so on
No,
the out.
wait a minute. That's TV8. That's Richmond. I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's Richmond. That is not here. I've worked at two different
Okay.
stations. Yeah.
So on the outside, you've got a glamorous life. Look how cute you are. Everything's great, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So we're going to we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what happened that you went through a transformation, and you can share that with us right
Oh, yeah.
after this with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Okay.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, and we are continuing with Leslie Blackwell Davis, who is a post-abortive mom. She had 2 abortions, and she's sharing her story with us. And you also you went on and got married and have children now, right?
Oh, my babies. I love them. Yeah. 33 and 31 years old today. And my
Wow.
babies in heaven would be 43 and 41. Isn't that amazing? They were 10 years apart.
And that's something that sticks with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Even when
don't
you didn't
quite
want it to.
remember the date, my abortion. Some women remember the exact date, but I remember the time of the year, that kind of thing. Yes.
So you found a way to kind of promote a healing. And there was a group that you mentioned a little bit earlier. Who is that, and what have they done with you and for you?
Oh, the healing. Phew. I don't think you can get through this type of trauma without um, post-abortive healing. And there's some fabulous programs. I'll tell you a few. The one that really rocked my world was a Rachel's Vineyard weekend retreat. And it connected all the dots. After 30 years of suffering, not understanding what was going on, why I was doing all these self-sabotaging behaviors, the the issues with weight, the promiscuity, the drugs, the alcohol, the smoking, the da 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 da. Why was I doing this? Why I had everything in my life, but I was sabotaging it. And that's very typical, as I found out when I went and got healing. It made sense that I was doing all these things to myself, and most people will recognize themselves as well. A lot of addictive behaviors and things like that, because what you're doing is you're masking the pain. That's that deep, dark secret you don't want anybody to know about. So what do? You drown it, you numb the pain. And that's what we see a lot with people that have experienced abortion.
Leslie, I remember you telling me you had a bumper sticker on your car, and correct me, I might not have, right. It was like pro-woman,
I wrote that
pro-choice.
down. I had a funny feeling you might have. I was. Here I am. So after my second abortion, okay, which was a blur. I was in television now, and it was just after that I was pretty hollowed out, just numb. I didn't, but I didn't attribute it to the abortions. Isn't that interesting? I just thought I was depressed. I thought I had just done enough with the TV gig down there, because after all, I'd been 4 years in college. Now it was 2 years in TV. I was ready to go back home up to the DC area and try my skills up there and all that. But I was down deep, very, very broken. And so I did. I quit my job. I quit my own talk show because I really couldn't live with myself anymore. And I ended up going back and living at my parents' home, thinking that, maybe that would make it different. But fast forward, I ended up getting a job in Richmond, Virginia, which is where I live now. I've been here almost 40 years, to go back into TV and to host the Good Morning Virginia show. And, but all that baggage came with me. I still, even though I had this new opportunity to start new in a new, fresh city, I still down deep didn't think I was worthy.
Leslie, how did you make that transition? When did you start to realize what was truly bothering you? And you already touched a little bit on the healing, but I want to know,
So
ahead.
after the abortions, and this is what I find most people, it takes a while. But after, you're just not living, you're doing things, as I said, that self-sabotaging behavior, a lot of depression, anxiety, all these things. It's really almost like a post-trauma. And it was after I got married and had children. And then I got involved in local politics and ended up working with a woman who was running for the House of Delegates in Virginia. And she was running as a pro-choice Republican. And I remember going, wow, this is great, a conservative pro-choice woman. And, of course, I'd never told anyone about my experiences, but boy, I jumped on her bandwagon, helped her get elected. I started going down and lobbying at the General Assembly, talking to the men, and I was awful, telling them that, if anything needs to be legislated, it should be you. Yeah. Oh, I was just angry, awful. I had gotten into all that. The feminism, the bumper sticker on my car, pro woman, pro child, pro choice. I would, in my mommy van driving around just thinking I was the cool girl that knew that choice was what are the, and that even led to, I had gotten an invitation to join the board of directors for the Virginia League for Planned Parenthood.